All right, buddy. So the tires are fine. They're BFGs, which are good tires. Plenty of tread left. It's raining. I was possibly wrong about the tailgate. For some reason, so they have the bed liner here, but it's not on top here, which is odd. Most of the time you'll break it right here at the same place. Although maybe it is because this doesn't line up. Maybe it's aftermarket. I don't know. Either way, it looks pretty nice. I'm really early. They're not open for another couple of hours, so I'm just gonna go find some place to eat. But here she is. Looks like you got a cooler, aftermarket cooler maybe. It looks pretty good. No dings or nothing, not like my truck. Hey dog. Hey puppies. Alright, we gotta start this sucker up. And it's like 30 degrees outside, so it's not gonna be easy. I'm gonna let this wait time. I'm gonna wait like 25-30 seconds. It turned off, but yeah, I'm still waiting. And I'm telling you, it is gonna be a smoky mess. It's probably long enough. By the way, note the RPM gauge. It will not spin, so my CPS sensor needs to be replaced. And this is the result of a bad CPS sensor. No movement. My truck will start, it really will. Jesus Christ, dog. Can you tell I need new injector cups? Not bad. 300,000 miles. All right, so look at this. After 2 years and 2 months, I finally have my block. I'm not so happy about that. We finally got our LS motor back. And, well, now we get to build it. Now, I have never built an LS motor, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I mean, It is a General Motors product. I mean, how hard can it be, really? No, it's plenty difficult. The LS motors have a significant amount of upgrades over the small block Chevy, but the small block Chevy is definitely an easier platform to work on. So what we got here is we purchased a while ago. We purchased a 2004 GMC, it was out of a 2004 GMC 2500 Denali four-wheel drive. We got this 177,000 mile 6-liter LS V8. And it had aluminum heads, but it was the 9.4 to 1 compression motor. So it is, I'm gonna leave that right there. It was the 325 or 335, depending on what book or spec you look at. That's the motor it was. There was one with higher compression, 10 to 1, that had aluminum heads. Probably came in a Cadillac, that had 365 horsepower. My horsepower goal with this is going to be in the 500 range, low 500s. We're going to inspect it, we're going to clean it, and then we're going to assemble a bottom end. Something you should do when you get it back from the machine shop is always clean it again. And since I don't know what I'm doing, I actually purchased a book. And you know what? I'm going to highly recommend it. How to rebuild GM LS series engines. You know, I've read through this thing a few times. It's got a lot of great, really, really great tips. And I'm not ashamed to use it. So I just recommend it. I don't work for those guys. They don't work for me. I'm not sponsored by them. But you know what? Instead of just going off of Google or, say, Facebook and your LS groups there, because, man, I see a lot of stuff. Guys are just out there winging it big time. I'm not really like this. I've read this. I've had this motor for 2 weeks. My back's been out. I've read this book about 6 times in that 2-week period. So other than doing the line hone, installing cam bearings, and doing everything for me, we also are bored. Now, this is one thing that we did not have an agreement on. If it needed it, it needed it. If it didn't, it didn't. And that's kind of what I told the builder. It wasn't bad, but he didn't bore it 30 over, which is pretty common. I'm not saying it's the most common, but what he did is he went 5 thousandths over. And what that does is, you know, again, that is something. Oh, we decked it too, by the way. This is nice and flat. Took a little tiny bit off. So he went 5 thousandths over in all the cylinders. And I'm not going to recommend anybody do this, but he said, hey, you can go ahead and use stock pistons with that. You know, just get the right size rings. And, you know, these engines kind of have short sidewalls on the pistons anyway, or short skirts. Anybody know what that would do over a period of time? It would cause piston slap, a lot of it. And more than likely premature wear. I just, again, I don't know enough about these motors to say, yeah, that's definitely going to happen. But I didn't like the advice. Really, based on everything I know, which isn't a whole lot. But anyway, so what we got is we went to Summit, and Scat had a rotating assembly, forged rotating assembly, that has pistons. And there's a bunch of different companies out there that make pistons for 5 thousandths over motor. So, and just do your research. We're not going to be putting this in today. but it's all in here. Those are the Race Tech pistons. A lot of good stuff in here. Forge connecting rods. A lot of fun. We'll put that together here probably in the next video. All right, so we're looking at cylinders, cam bearings, mains here. As usual, my GoPro died in the middle of all that cleaning and stuff. So we are done. Now I bought a couple of, like I said, I bought the Moroso long brush kit. I also bought a small brush kit. You're gonna need one of these on this LS motor, okay? But it's all cleaned out. Now the next thing I want to do, I just verified it was all great. I tapped all the holes, which is I was in the middle of when I think the GoPro died. And then I checked it. I checked all the threaded holes, everything. Everything looks good. There was no excess trash in anything. So the next thing I've got to do here is we're going to button it all up, believe it or not. I'm going to be taping off all these surfaces. And then I'm going to clean the crap out of the outside and paint the outside. But I'm not going to do that today. That's going to be in the next video. All right, we'll be right back. Now this year I was injured. I was not able to go to every single event over the week-long time that Hot August Nights is in Reno and Sparks and Virginia City. So I was only able to go out for a few hours on Saturday, and these are some of the most amazing cars that I've seen. Now the whole layout's a lot different than it was last year, so it's just a lot different. I wish I got to see more cars, but I got to see a lot of cool ones. I mean, look at this little Morris here. What the heck? The battery's bigger than the engine. Yeah, check it out.